while I say that, selling has changed over the last 40 odd years, primarily this has happened fast over the last 20 years because of the internet. So a lot of people having more information before they take a buying decision has led to a lot of people deciding certain things in their mind which a salesperson can't really decipher very fast. So when I say you sell every day, you really sell to, you sell a project, you sell, something to your friends, you may sell an idea, you may sell a business proposition. It happens every day. And since we buy every day, we feel that we know enough about selling. And that's where salespeople also cannot connect with customers these days as much as they used to be able to do those days. While people decide how to buy, a lot of selling and buying has got digitized. And because it is digitized, what happens is products get commoditized. So a lot of face-to-face contact has disappeared from selling. Because you order online, you order products you already know features about, you tend to make decisions yourself and seek the selling person only when you are confused. Now, this non-face-to-face contact in selling has made most products commoditized. What do I mean by commoditized? I'll explain it a little later, because commoditized in today's context is different from yesterday's context. To put it very short, commoditized means you know what you're buying. You know the features of the product you're buying. Let's say you buy atta every day. You know Annapurna atta has some multigrain in it. So you know the feature of multigrain already. So you will go for the multigrain atta, which is the cheapest. So you lose value in this proposition all the time because the salesperson is not really assisting you, but the feature which is bashing you from all sides through ads, through marketing, through all kinds of information through the media has made you decide a wrong thing, which you probably wouldn't be happy about or was not value driven in your mind. So let me explain to you how value is delivered in a product. When a product is commoditized, you already know the features of the product you're going to buy. So let's take potato, for example. So you buy potatoes for a kitchen, but the moment your need changes from buying a potato to make a sabji or a gravy, when you move to organic potatoes, the need has changed from just eating a sabji to probably addressing your health need. So the need change has happened within the customer's mind. And that's what drives value selling, really. When the need in the mind of the customer changes to what the best product he should be really buying for. Now let's take the case of how potatoes are used. This comes only if you better understand the needs of a product. Potatoes may be used in making chips. Potatoes may be used in making gravies. Potatoes may be filling along with cheese in something else. So once you understand that, you change the features in potato to meet that need and package it accordingly so that people buy a higher value product. Let's take another example. A Swift car with basic features is 4.42 lakhs. But if you load features in it, it becomes 5.5 lakhs. Just by adding more features which the customer is aware of. Sometimes he's aware of some features, or he or she, and sometimes they're not aware of some features. For example, some feature could be new and they may not be aware of it. And that's where a salesperson has to come in play with value selling. So let me quickly summarize what is commodity and what is value. And today, most products are getting commoditized. We talked about potatoes and how it became organic potatoes when you shifted the need. Now let's take a bar of soap, which has no features in it. It's just carbolic soap. It's just caustic soda, probably something added to it as a chemical which washes. Now, when you add features to it, you can position it differently and the needs can change. So let's say you put tulsi in a soap. That means you added another need, which is, which what tulsi brings into the soap. Probably, a health kind of a need. If you put lime, it brings in freshness kind of a need. If you put in neem, it gives you, a prevention of a disease, or it improves your capability to resist certain fevers and things like that. So, one in a commodity product, the needs are assumed. You assume that the customer knows enough about what they want to buy and their needs. You put your product in the marketplace and it gets commoditized. Whereas in value selling, the needs have to be understood better. Marketing can never do this because marketing always addresses a community's needs. It never addresses a customer's needs. And that's where the difference is. Commodity products, normally price becomes the most important factor. Because customer is clear what the features are, so he compares on the net what is the best price available or the best brand they have trust for, and they buy a product. But whereas in a value selling product, there is a cost which they evaluate and the value which they evaluate, which is a lot different from how a commodity product is evaluated. Most commodity products are not sold these days. They're only marketed. But value selling products need both marketing and selling to go hand in hand so that the value is delivered. And that's why you cannot take out sales from marketing. And like I said before, commodity products, the values remain unchanged. And in a value product, it keeps on changing. And who changes this? It is the salesperson who changes the needs of the customer or creates the need in the customer. Most commodity products are only retailed or distributed, or in marketing parlance, we would call it placed. But all value products require salespeople to be solution providers. Normally, it's assumed that when a salesperson is trying to sell value, he's telling a story or he's telling a solution. But today, you see most customers do not open up regarding what they want. They only give you what is called a trigger. A trigger only can convert to a need. Earlier days, they used to welcome a salesperson, give them the time, open up what they want, talk to them, but today there's no time. So we need to recognize the trigger when you have to convert it to a value need. A trigger is, let's say for you, for example, you drop your phone, and we do that every day, I guess. And the next is, you think about, oh, how I wish I could have a phone which didn't crack so easily. And the problem is not the cost of replacing the glass, but going to the person to replace the cost. So the next time you see a phone or a marketing ad or somebody triggering a thing around you to say that you have an unbreakable glass, then you go and buy it. So actually, the trigger is converted to a need within the person, but it's all buried inside. So when a salesperson tries to tell a story or tries to deliver a value, he only recognizes triggers. And these triggers are important to convert to needs, and then only they will connect with the customer, and then they try to buy it with value. Okay? So value need is always buried, what drives me to buy. For example, I need a phone with a camera. Almost all phones today in the market have a camera. But a value need will emerge differently for different people. For example, some people use their phones to do a web program. Now a phone, when you do a webcast, like I'm doing now one, through a phone, it looks really bad. But there are some phones with features which drive an algorithm so that it looks like a tablet or a laptop. So you've got that buried need out of the customer. But is it easy for a salesperson to get it out so easily? And that's the question. For example, there is a selfie obsessive guy. He wants to take selfies. Almost all phones come with a rear camera. But a feature will excite him only if you have a push-up camera, which gives you a panoramic view where he can take selfie for about 100 people. So these kinds of triggers converting to need can be done by a salesperson only if the customer opens up. And how do you open up a customer? That's the trick today. 40 years back, they opened up. Today, nobody opens up. They don't trust people. They don't trust products. They don't trust brands. That's the trick where sales has evolved. To get the need behind the need, or can I say, is just a conversion of a requirement to a need, takes a lot of effort. What works today is you communicate the right value. And how do you do it? in a background. When customers are overloaded with information, they don't trust you. So it's really a three-step simple process. You understand or create value needs. You satisfy the needs with benefits for both, and you build long-term relationships. Let's see how this is done. I'll give you a little bit of a jhalak, really. But how this is done is a lot of human interactions, which artificial intelligence can never ever do. So you cannot replace the sales guy. You can have artificial intelligence replacing marketing, talking about products, loudspeakering information, but you cannot do this through AI. Sales is different from servicing. The difference between selling and servicing is servicing is an add-on to sale. It can be pre-sales or after sales. For example, an air hostess is servicing you when you board an aircraft. You already bought the ticket. When you get a menu card or when you do a gift wrapping, you already bought the product. So servicing can be an after-sales activity or a pre-sales activity. The problem is servicing, people think, is similar to selling or goes hand in hand with selling. It's not true. Servicing is different from selling. In servicing, you don't understand the needs. You understand the expectations. You meet the expectations, and then you try to exceed the expectation by bringing delight. But in servicing or in selling, the first step to this process is building rapport. Between buyer and seller, rapport building is easier said than done. Once you build rapport, and explain this rapport a little bit in the coming slides. Rapport is a very, very ununderstood word. And it's not taught, it's imbibed, or you're born with it, a skill. I've seen only one country, and I've interacted with 30 countries. Only China trains people to build rapport early on in school. Till this age of 3, they play games. They're not allowed to touch textbooks. So they build rapport. It's about communicating with the right frequencies between two people to trust each other. Building trust is possible only if you connect. Connecting is only possible if you share the emotions. So rapport building starts with sharing emotions, then you start connecting, then you build trust, which leads to a relationship. And once that is got, then the customer opens out to help you give the right value selling or give you the right servicing expectation. So this is the preface. If you don't build a rapport, share emotions, connect, build trust, and build the relationship, neither selling is possible effectively, nor servicing is possible effectively. Now, rapport is matching of frequencies between two people. Both sender and receiver are sending 3 frequencies. And if there is a resonance of these frequencies, then you build rapport. What are the frequencies? They're basically 3: body language, the voice, and the words. Now, more than 93% of rapport building is done through body language and voice. And that's why artificial intelligence cannot take over this rapport building. It's very difficult because it's momentary. I have to understand what's going on from the other person to match the frequencies. If I'm going to smile and speak to you like this, it's completely different from if I'm going to speak to you like this. If I'm going to tell you something, you have to build rapport. It's completely different from you have to build rapport. If I use a voice, I'm sorry, it's not possible. We can't deliver it today. It's completely different from, I'm extremely sorry, we can't deliver it today. I've used the same words. There is a change of body language. There's a change of voice. And that's what, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, or how you do it, which builds rapport. It's a very difficult art. And we train that. An air hostess is taught how to smile for 3 months by looking at mirrors. I heard a comment from somebody, how do you build rapport? These expressions into your face by doing mirror exercises every day in the morning when you brush your teeth. And then watch the other person, read the emotion and match the emotion. So we do workshops in this. Just like you can't learn how to be a dramatist overnight. It's a skill. You need practice. You need sessions. You need a way of doing it. There is a technique. And some of it I've mentioned in my book, but it's a whole lot of science. Okay, moving to the next one. Like I said, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Marketing leads a horse to water. Marketing cannot lead a horse, make the horse drink water. Because marketing cannot make the horse thirsty enough to buy it. So sales or selling is important to make the customer drink. Marketing is easy because it's taught in business schools, while selling and servicing is not taught in business schools. It's about 4 P's like we know. You find features for a product, a branding, a packaging, and pricing strategy, discounts. You find a placement, a channel, a location, how to put it in your customer's place. And then you promote it. And you're done. So this is easy. So what's the difference essentially between selling and marketing is? So marketing always addresses a market's needs, which is all encompassing. Whereas selling always addresses the need behind the need of the customer, which marketing can never find because each customer's need is different behind the need. So there are 2 types of pitches which we have to design when you go out to sell. One is called a marketing pitch, another is the sales pitch. So sales pitches are always addressed to need behind the need. Marketing pitches are always addressed to meet the market's need. So what's the difference? Basically, a sales pitch can work effectively only if you understand the need behind the need and provide the value. And you have some rapport built. So can really products succeed without selling? Yes, only if they're commoditized. So all products in this world get commoditized and commoditized. So they buy it because of marketing and not really selling. And the guy in the shop who sells it to you just helps you choose or services something which around a product it's required to be done as a process. So basically it comes down to what people buy today. People buy trust, people buy culture, people buy a convenience, people buy a brand image, people buy a flaunt which they want to show off with. And sometimes they buy only to make themselves happy. We are not being able to figure out why this happens, but they buy because it makes them happy. It's called retail therapy. But today people just don't buy products. They moved away from product buying to buying trust, culture, convenience, brand, a flaunt value, and something which excites them. And that's why I keep on saying, and marketing can never figure out what that customer really wants. So they build in everything and do everything around all these 6 things. And probably take the horse to the water. And in this age of marketing, almost all of marketing is done through digitally. Digital marketing is like trying to take an AK-47 and trying to shoot an ant. These days, marketing has a funnel, which we say, tofu funnel, that means, where you get visitors in and you get followers in and you have a website which, drags the people in. You have people who read the content, who lead you in, then probably throw in a customer to you. If it's a commoditized product, that customer gets to stay because of the features and the price. And if it's a value product, unless the salesperson gets in at this stage, both the brand and the product take a beating. Okay, so I'll kind of end my conversation by saying that marketing has to have good content, which obviously all of you know, but selling will only make marketing really win it. Okay, so if you would understand what is really required around selling, you need connecting, rapport building, persuasion skills, asserting, negotiating, and winning the relationship. So this is what is detailed in the book. It's got a lot of stories. It's got a lot of conversations between sales and customer. It's easy for you to get the right techniques to develop the skill. So I would urge you, if you can, to get this and also follow me. Connect with me in LinkedIn, or you can visit the website saberskilling.com. Okay, I'll give you a story to explain this. Maybe it'll become clear. So I go to the Jet Airways, I'm using Jet Airways because it no longer exists. If I use some other name, then you'll have a problem. Okay, I go to the Jet Airways counter and say, I want a ticket for the earliest flight. I have an urgency at home. So the clerk looks at the screen and says, sorry, sir, today no flights. Everything is going full. So my need is a ticket to go to Delhi fast. Clear? Okay. So I keep pushing. I say that, my brother is ill. What's the point in going tomorrow? He's in the hospital. Like, no, sir, flight's full. Goes to the next counter where, a girl is smiling and she says, I'm sorry, sir, I heard you, but we don't have flights today, but just give me a moment. She senses that expectation of urgency to help. Goes and checks and says, no, sir, another flight is there within half an hour and it's got tickets. I've spoken to the agent. Go take that flight. That's understanding of expectation, trying to meet an expectation. And not just understanding a need and trying to meet the need. Earlier, we used to be able to meet customers, go to their homes, meet, or they used to come. But now everything is on phone or video calls. Now, voice plays. Remember, I told you there are 3 elements of rapport: body language, voice, and words. Okay, which constitute frequencies which you need to match to generate rapport. Now, when it comes to phone, 93% becomes voice. Okay, even body language can be expressed through voice. Like if I greet you and say, good morning, Vinay, is different from good morning, Vinay. My voice changes because my body language pushed the voice through differently. I can sense a person not connecting with you if you sense and read the voice correctly. We do voice training for 2 days for customer service professionals. In fact, I was in Australia doing customer service training. All they wanted to do was to get the right voice. And you have to be able to read the other person's voice through the phone as an emotion. Don't call me now is different from don't call me now. And then immediate reaction is, when should I call you? Don't do that. Don't call me now. The expectation was he was upset. I'm so sorry I disturbed you. I know when. So the voice changed, connected with the other person. So he wanted to give you time. Then once he gives you time, then again you focus on how to convert it. But the beginning or the starting point is rapport. Rapport builds emotional connect. Emotional connect builds trust. Trusts open up your customer, and then you can deliver a value. Then they're ready to listen. So it's a highly competitive world out there, right? So your product could be available in different platforms. They could be available online, some other distributor selling it, some other retailer eating it. Okay. So you have to find out where you are positioned, right? Your product is positioned. If it's the same product and service vis-a-vis others, then you'll have to find what value you bring more than the others. You need to do an analysis to find out how it benefits. Now, value cannot necessarily only be product or features. It can be in the ability of your people to deliver a solution better than others, understand customers better than others, build rapport better than others, have a better relationship compared to others. All this also drives value in a product. So if your salespeople are trained right, like you said, to deliver value rather than just go match price or, give an extra discount and sell, then the customer will not find value between you and your same product available with others. So you need to believe that you're going to deliver value differently, find the way and build the relationship. That's why don't commoditize. Even offering some kind of a small service around the product which you do, which others don't do, can help. But you have to find it. You have to find it. And then you ask your people, salespeople, to do that exactly the way you want them to do, value sell. Now, customers, you can't change customers. Okay. If someone said, I can change my customer, he's telling a lie. Okay. They will be customers. They're all different types. They're different personalities. They're different behavior. They take decisions emotionally than rationally these days. 70% of decision is emotional. Only 30% of decision is rational. So you have to pile onto them emotionally through that value proposition. And that's where it comes. That's why I'm saying differently. I'm not saying, the old adage in selling is go meet the customer, understand the needs, present your features, handle objections, and sell. Nothing works today. All those, the old theories and processes around sell, nothing works. Because where customers going to open up to handle objections, they're going to go for the next priced product because they know what features you're going to offer. Unless you offer something different, unless you build a relationship better. So, earlier they used to say, just probe the customer and I'll, explain what he needs. It doesn't work today, right? I told you it doesn't work. So today, the first step is to create rapport by understanding the triggers and connecting emotionally. And then while asking questions, you have to be careful. I use a method called position probing. It's a very simple process. The first question you ask is to be respectful. क्या मैं जान सकता हूँ? क्या आप बता सकते हैं? क्या मैं समझ सकता हूँ? May I understand? Or may I know? It has to be respectful. The phrase has to be respectful so that it doesn't put the other person in a defensive mood. Second, ask the question and then give the reason for asking the question. The reason should benefit the customer, not you. I'll give you an example. There's a very fat person who comes to your store and you're selling jeans. And the person is struggling to find his size because, he's looking at the wrong place. And you want to take him to the right place to show him the right pair of jeans. You can't go straight on and ask him a question, what's your size? He'll evacuate. Because he's well built and he doesn't like people talking about his size. So you're going to ask it different. May I know the size you're looking for? So the reason I ask you is, some of the sizes of these jeans are kept upstairs and I can take. So what did I do now? I asked the question, gave the reason for asking the question, and it benefited the customer, not me. This opens up trust between you and the customer when you ask the questions correctly, rather than just ask questions which people ask you. Okay, if it's to an individual, the pitch is different because that's got to be a sales pitch, right? But if it's got to be to a group of people, that's a marketing pitch, correct? Right. Both sales pitches and marketing pitches have one common factor, which is called value. So value is nothing but a combination of three things: need, feature, benefit. All three have to be intertwined. I'll give you an example. When Baba Ramdev says, "Is cream mein aloe vera hai," that means feature. Feature is in the cream, aloe vera. वो क्या करता है? It nourishes the skin and makes you look 10 years younger. That's the benefit. Okay. But till you link it to need, it's very good for dry skin because it won't work with wet skin or oily skin. So your pitches on the phone have to be less than 15 words with all three components: need, features, benefits. In a marketing parlance, it can be a marketing pitch, but in a sales person, it's a need behind the need pitch. So since you've lost some customers to somebody else, bringing them back is not so easy. Let me be frank with you, requires an effort. If you think that just because you have serviced them before and somebody else is servicing them now, you're going to bring them back, it's not going to happen so fast. But you need to plan, but you need to have a plan. Okay, don't go after everybody. Get some 4 or 5 big and concentrate on them. Make repeated calls, make repeated visits. Try to get the rapport going there. Bring back the old. And then you will see that you will also meet your numbers because you'll have to do that 80-20 rule in sales. 20% of your customers give you 80% of your revenue. So you have to funnel that properly. I'm not getting into funneling now. You need to have your funnel rightly established. SMS. It's called SMS. Okay? It's nothing but samjho, mano, samjhao. Okay? It could be a price objection, a product objection, or a service objection. First, understand it deeply till you understand. Then agree that yes, what customer's perception is right. That puts them defense down. Then give the proof or give the reasoning why it's not like that or why it would not. Don't go straight into objection handling by showing proof or contesting it or by SMS is a very good thing. Communication is a huge subject. Okay, so it's very difficult just to say that you improve business communication. You have to work on yourself. Like I said, sometimes you have to work where your communications are not going right, which part of your body language is not okay, how your voice can be developed. This is the chest voice, not a throat voice, not a belly voice. No, how you work on those things. These are important today to really excel in sales, because selling is about connecting with people. Marketing is about connecting with a market. That's the problem in India. I always tell you, don't manage your boss, manage your job. उल्टा करते हैं इंडिया में. They always manage the boss. They don't manage the job. You can't manage your boss. And I always, when I do leadership programs, I tell the bosses, don't be predictable. Otherwise, people will manage you. So a person who's always predictable, he'll be managed by his subordinates. And nothing is worthwhile gets done. You manage your job. Don't manage your boss. And you increase your skills to manage your job. And that's where the trick is. The boss has to reward you. I had 450 people reporting to me. I said, don't manage me. You won't know me. So one is self-management. See, you can't manage others without being managed. Your ability to manage yourself, whether it's time, whether it's saying yes or no rightly to people, whether it's building the relationship, building the right relationship with the right people. Okay, self-management. I put it under an umbrella of self-management. If you manage yourself, you can manage others. Okay, this is a book which I believed in for the last 20 years. It's called New Strategic Selling. All books are good. I won't say any book is bad. So it depends on how you take what from a book. That's more important. But this is a great book. Don't sell, make to them buy is more a skilling book rather than, this is a more combination of skill as well as managing a process around selling. So both work hand in hand well.